Hi, everyone. So I've gotten this question from a lot of instructors. What can I do if students don't submit work for a while and don't email me back? So you might have a student who is engaged in the first couple weeks of the course and just seems to have fallen off the face of the earth, for lack of a better way to word it. They're not submitting assignments, they're not emailing you back, and you don't know what to do. And there's not a definitive answer for this, but I'm going to give you some information that can help you to support these students and hopefully get them back to class. So we've all seen it. A student suddenly appears to fall off the face of the earth. They stop submitting assignments. You haven't heard from the student. And in some cases, you email the advisor, and the advisor also says, well, I haven't heard from this student. And there's really no way for you to get in touch with this student. You've tried everything, and they're not responding, and they're still not submitting assignments. So it kind of leaves us in a, well, what can we do? So a few important ways that we can use to get students back into class and get them to engage. First one, make sure you're getting your zeros into the gradebook by the Wednesday deadline. You might be saying, well, how does this help? Advisors take the zero report and they use that to make outreach to students. They use that to call students and say, hey, I notice you haven't been in class. What's going on? So having those zeros in by Wednesday actually helps the advisors to help you get students re-engaged. The next one, CC advisors on emails to the student regarding missing work. And we're required to do this in weeks 1 through 3. But if we notice, let's say that they've done great and it's week 7 and suddenly they haven't submitted anything, you can copy the advisor on it and ask the advisor to help you with this. Always remember in your emails, be encouraging and supportive. Let the students know, I'm here for you. Let them know, I understand that there's a lot going on. Everyone has a lot going on in their lives, and I'm here to help you be successful with school. You can also remind the student there's still time to be successful. If the student still has the opportunity to pass the course, then that student still has time to be successful, to complete the course, and to move on to the next courses the following term. Missing 1 or 2 weeks of assignments doesn't necessarily mean that student has to give up and quit because he or she will fail. So it's important to remind them there's still time to be successful. Be sure to tell them what work they can submit and be clear on the late penalties. According to SNHU's late policy, students may submit assignments up to 1 week after the assignment deadline, but they receive a 10% penalty. So make sure you let them know, I noticed you didn't submit any assignments in week 3. Here's the list of assignments. You have until the end of week 4 to get these submitted, and there will be a 10% penalty. You can also remind them, getting them submitted and getting partial credit, getting that 90% credit, is way better than getting a 0 on the assignment. Another thing you can do is just simply email the advisor. And this is without copying the student. Just send an email to the advisor and just say, hey, I was wondering, have you heard from this student? Has the student called you? Have you been able to reach out to them? If we CC an advisor on the email to a student, advisors don't always email us back, even if we ask them to at the bottom and say, hey, if you've heard from the student, please let me know. If you put it in that email, we might not get a response. However, I have found that if we email the advisor directly and just say, hey, I was just wondering what information you have, sometimes that elicits a response, a faster response, and a more detailed response than if we've copied the student on the previous email. And the last tip, be sure you're engaging with your students. Remember that we do engagement through announcements, through discussion board posts, and through the grading and the feedback we provide. So you've got 3 great ways that you can engage with your students. Be sure you're utilizing those. Have some great announcements posted throughout the week. Keep them wanting to come back day after day to see what you've posted for an announcement. Make sure that you're active in that discussion board. If they see that you've been in the discussion board every day this week, they're going to want to do that too. So remember, the more you engage with your students, the more they engage back with you, and the more likely they are to be a part of the class. A few things to keep in mind. Remember that a lot of students choose online learning because they already have busy schedules. A lot of our students work full time, they have families, they have other obligations outside of school and work and family. Some of them went to school online because they have severe health issues. Keep all of this in mind as you engage with your students. That's part of where being supportive comes in. I understand what it's like to have to be doing all of this. I understand what you're going through, and I'm here to support you and help you be successful. If the students struggled with a single, it's possible a student had one assignment that was very difficult for this student. And as soon as the student struggled, he or she said, well, I give up. If you can find that out, you can help the student see past that and see how successful he or she can be. And that stumbling on one assignment doesn't necessarily mean that he or she won't be successful. And one of the key things, it's not necessarily a reflection on us. If a student doesn't submit any assignments, never replies to emails, and you've tried reaching out, that doesn't mean you were a bad instructor. It could mean any of these things. Could mean there's something going on in this student's life that is preventing him or her from being able to engage in class. So just keep that in mind. If you have been posting announcements on a regular basis, posting multiple announcements every week, you're in the discussion board every single day, and you're emailing the student and you're reaching out to the advisor, then you've done all you can to support this student, and a piece of it has to come from that student as well. So the biggest and best steps we can take are to outreach, send those emails, make sure the student knows we are there for him or her and that we want to see them succeed. Engage, be active in your classroom, post those announcements on a regular basis, have multiple announcements during the week so they can see your presence. Engage in the discussion board. Be in there as often as you can. Reply to as many students as you can. Make sure you're giving substantive posts. Don't just say great post. Make sure you give them information and show them that you're reading the posts and you know what they've posted. And here's my 2 cents on the topic, or here's my professional information, or whatever it may be. But engage, find a way to show them that you are active in the course. And of course, the last one is support. Let them know you want them to be successful and that's why you're checking in on them. Let them know that you really want to help them to accomplish this and you want to help them succeed in this class so they can then graduate. So make sure that you're doing those things. Keep up the outreach. Make sure that you are active in your class, as active as possible, and make sure that you are being supportive when you email them. Let them know you have their best interest at heart and you really do care. So I hope this helps answer the question that I've been seeing a lot lately, and I really hope that this helps you to be able to reach out to those students, and I hope that some of these that appear to have vanished suddenly reappear for us. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and thank you for all that you do.